But Melvin says Devin imagined being in this position years ago. He was just a young child doing anything he could to get his hands on a basketball. Partnering with Oakley, the PGA Tour gave out 2,000 of these cardboard virtual reality headsets. So all you have to do is put in your phone, and just like that, you can experience the 16th hole. Part of the initiative is to create what's called a circular economy, which means treating things like wrappers, cups, or even grass, not as a waste, but as a resource. Before Shaylee ever even walked down the halls of Mesquite High School in 9th grade, she made a promise to her mom, one she was able to fulfill her junior year. On Saturday, the Sun Devil seniors will walk their way from the Tillman Tunnel right here onto Frank Cush Field for the final time in a game they say means more than most. Manager Tori Lavello says that he's just in a bit of an adjustment period right now, trying to get used to this completely new environment here in the United States. Tropicana Field in Florida, 22nd with less than one long ball per contest, in large part due to the thick air, which isn't going to be an issue for Sousa here in Arizona. His smile is illuminating. His laugh is contagious. But there's more beneath the surface of Dave Delano.
One day, I felt like I was having a heart attack, and, being the alpha male that I am, I got in the car and drove myself to the emergency room. They said it was anxiety, and I says, well, what do you mean? I'm not getting shot at. This is the easy stuff.
Delano retired in 2014 after 20 years in the United States Navy that included 2 tours in Iraq. He settled into civilian life in Phoenix with his wife and son. But on May 5th, 2016, while getting ready to go to work at his job as a manager at Starbucks, his world turned upside down.
I literally froze. I started shaking, sweating. I was confused in my head. I couldn't get words out. I couldn't create a coherent sentence. And I looked at my wife, she looked at me, and I says, I can't go to work. I physically cannot get myself to go to work.
Delano's doctor officially diagnosed him with anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, more commonly known as PTSD.
It's almost like my life slowed down enough for the PTSD to catch on.
As part of his treatment, Delano's doctors asked him what he enjoys the most. Delano pointed to what would eventually be his savior.
Golf got me out. Once it was prescribed to me, I had no choice, right? I had to follow the doctor's orders.
Even on a day where Delano has no motivation to get out of bed in the morning, there's something about the serenity of a golf course that brings him a sense of comfort like nothing else can.
It's a chance to soak in what we have and take a little bit of the stress out of regular lives.
Golf has even strengthened his relationship with his wife and son.
And that's how we spend time together. Golf just keeps us together.
He's happy. He tells me about jokes they had out on the golf course. He tells me about I made a birdie or I chipped in or I had a lot of fun with these guys.
2016 also brought another life-changing moment for Delano. He joined the Veterans Golf Association, an organization that brings veterans together to play the sport. Shortly after, he took over as the VGA's director in Arizona.
Everybody from the VGA, once again, thank you so much for being out here.
It forces me out of the house. It puts me in a situation where I can actually leave because I have to, not because I want to.
Through the VGA, Delano found what he once lost.
I love being the wind beneath other people's wings, I love to help people reach their goals. Find something that's going to give you pleasure and make sure you force yourself to do it.
A father, a husband, a veteran, a golfer, a man that leads the fight for his life that he unapologetically embraces. In Tempe, Drew Andre, Cronkite News. Sporting events attract many fans, and in return, lots of waste. Over the course of spring training, Major League Baseball and Salt River Fields teamed up with the Arizona State University School of Sustainability to implement zero-waste strategies.
Towards a zero-waste trajectory this year, learn, pilot, understand, gather data, best practice, financial understanding, with the intent and desire of how can we scale that across the entire Cactus League moving forward.
A part of the initiative is to create what's called a circular economy, which means treating things like wrappers, cups, or even grass, not as a waste, but as a resource.
The key is having the partnership with ASU. We've got a game here every day for 32 straight days, so my staff they don't have time to tell people where to put the stuff.
And that's exactly what a group of 11 undergraduate and graduate students at ASU are doing. At select games at Salt River Fields, the team gives public service announcements reminding people to recycle, in addition to directly engaging with the fans.
Okay, how important is recycling to you?
We pretty much just go around and collect data from the fans. And this data is pretty much going to talk about how the fans feel about recycling and how they feel about recycling in the stadiums and as a consumer and even in sports in general.
The headliner for this project is the 8th inning Recycle Rally.
It's now time for the Recycle Rally,
where fans are encouraged to pass down their cans, cups, and bottles to be collected by the students.
They don't have to dispose of it later. It creates a cleaner, more inviting fan experience for them. And guess what? It's actually going to, in the future, lower the operational costs of the stadium because we don't have to pick that stuff up after the fact.
At the end of the day, we're making a change in sports and we're making a change with fans, people, and it's just transcending through all those elements that really, as a team, we're proud about.
Tatro added that this is an opportunity for MLB to see a change in sustainability on a smaller scale that can be translated to ballparks across the country. In Scottsdale, Drew Andre, Cronkite News. Candace and Josh Gonzalez met as college basketball players at Grand Canyon University. Now, they've passed along the hoops tradition to their 5 children, including their oldest daughter, Shaylee, a senior guard at Mesquite High School in Gilbert, who gets the rare opportunity to play for her mom.
Some people are like, that would suck having your coach as your parents as your coach. Like, do you like that? And I actually like it because afterwards I get to talk to her about the game and see what she needs more of me, and we go through film.
I don't know if she really had a choice. You know, just being in the gym all the time. I am in the gym all the time, and my kids are in the gym all the time. So it was one of those things where I'm carrying her in her car seat to games, and she just kind of fell right into and loved it.
Before Shaylee ever even walked down the halls of Mesquite High School in 9th grade, she made a promise to her mom, one she was able to fulfill her junior year.
I had actually thought about stopping coaching when Shaylee was probably going into 7th grade to be a mom. And I kind of sat down with her, my husband and I, and told her and my oldest son that that's what I was going to do. And she just looked at me and shook her head and said, no, you're not going to do that. I want you to coach me, and I'm going to win you your first state championship.
Shaylee did just that, leading Mesquite to a state title last season, in addition to being named Gatorade Player of the Year in Arizona. Even with all the time spent together on the court, the Gonzalezes are still able to balance basketball with family life.
We've had the ability to separate the two. We got mom and we've got coach.
So Shaylee's ability to be humble and just be a great team player has been probably the most key ingredient to her success with her relationship with her mom.
Next year, Shaylee will move on to play basketball at BYU. As for Candace, her younger daughters have made it clear they want mom's help in trying to reach the same heights as their older sister. So for now, Candace plans to continue as Mesquite's coach.
All right, you guys are out of here. Let's go.
In Gilbert, Drew Andre, Cronkite News.
Family!